Welcome. My name is Steve Page. I'm the Treated Business Manager for Allweather Wood, and welcome to our webinar on preservative treated wood, use categories, and best management practices. This information is copyrighted under Allweather Wood, LLC. So a little bit about Allweather Wood. We began operations in 1985 in Washougal, Washington, and through the years we've grown and we now operate 5 wood preservation, lumber manufacturing, and distribution facilities in Oregon, California, Colorado, and Washington. Our capabilities include high-speed end sizing, custom pre-staining, various preservatives, and third-party quality control inspection in accordance with AWPA industry standards. Allweather Wood now ranks as the largest waterborne preservative-treated lumber and plywood manufacturer in the western United States. And for more information on our company, you can visit us at allweatherwood.com, and this information will include resources, SDS sheets, preservatives, preservative-treated wood safety, usages, and a current list of our stocking dealers. Presentation description. Well, what we're dealing with today is where wood is exposed to moisture, insects, fungal organisms, and where preservative treated wood can help ensure durability. By the time you completed this presentation, you should be able to specify preservative treated wood products using the American Wood Protection Use Category System, apply best management practices or BMPs for preservative treated wood in aquatic and sensitive environmental areas, and get answers to commonly asked questions. AWPA use category. So what is the AWPA? The AWPA is the American Wood Protection Association. It was founded in 1904. It writes the standards for wood preserving for the United States. It provides technical forum for the industry. It does research and deals with end users. It's referenced in all building codes, and it's updated annually. The AWPA's role is to determine if a preservative is effective and can be listed in the standards. It also establishes how much preservative is needed retention-wise and depends on the exposure and use. Industry is seeking to always minimize chemical use through lower retentions. AWPA use categories. The AWPA use category system is based on the end use biodeterioration hazard zones, and there are 5 of them. And they're for expected performance. These categories range from weather-protected UC1 mild, which is the lowest risk, to the highest risk, which is saltwater, marine, immersion, and that would be UC5C. There's also a separate use category for fire retardants. So converting the AWPA use category from the old commodity C standards. The C standards were the chief specifications that we used in preservative treated wood for many decades. These standards are still specified by many people today, and although they technically no longer exist, we needed to publish a conversion sheet through AWPI that lets you cross-reference the old C standards with the current AWPA use category system and vice versa. This cross-reference publication is helpful for specifiers, project managers, and building code officials. So what is the use category? So we start with use category UC1. UC1 is the mildest retention level that we have, and that's for material that's not in contact with ground or foundations. It's continuously protected from the weather, and it's for interior sources only. UC2 category, again, that's an interior construction category, not in contact with the ground, protected from the weather, subject to dampness and occasional sources of water. Typical uses for this application include mudsill studs, headers, blocking, and interior walls. And today's typical mudsill application we see in the market is typically borate treated wood. UC category 3A and 3B. This is an above ground exposed to the weather application. And as you can see there, UC 3A would be coated in rapid runoff. Examples would be fascia, coated millworks, and trims. And UC 3B, which would be uncoated or poor runoff, examples of decking, railing, beams, and joists. Again, a higher fungi and insect hazard and decay zone. UC 4A, B, and C. This is our most common category we have in treated wood. And ground contact would be your general use construction, which means it could be decking, railing, joists. It could be freshwater docks, fence posts, generally material not supporting a structure. UC 4B and C would be structural and critical members that are difficult to replace, including building poles, pole barn stock, retaining walls, large deck posts, freshwater docks, highway posts, etc. Foundation. This would be your more of an extreme contact zone. UC 5A, B, and C. This is the most severe application, and this is generally always used in marine applications, which would be saltwater applications. Example, this would be docks, pilings, dolphins, moorings, etc. And there's two categories, basically. UC 5A is northern waters, which has a designation of a 1.9 pounds per cubic foot retention level, and UC 5B and C, which are generally southern waters, warmer climates, and that also includes salt and brackish water immersion. Waterborne preservatives ACZA and CCA are the only preservatives that are approved under AWPA for these retention levels. They typically require BMPs, which are best management practices, as part of their process. One other category for this would be UC category F, A, and B. These are fire retardants, lumber, and plywood. As you can see, UCFA is an interior continuously protected from the weather application, and UCFB, which is an exterior exposed to the weather application and is allowed to be wetted. These products are for above ground use only and not in ground contact. So here's a designation of AWPA retention rates per use category. So we'll pick out our common use category system based on the preservatives we're using today. So we'll go to CAC, copper azole type C. As you can see, UC1, UC2, and UC3B all have the same designation, which is 0.06 pounds per cubic foot. And then we get into UC4A, which is general use ground contact, would be a 0.15 designation. And then heavy duty contact would be 0.31. For mudsill, typically what we see today would be SBX inorganic boron, and that's going to be a designation of 0.28 for Formosan termites and 0.17 for non-Formosan termites. So the use category reference app is available to anybody that wants to download it through Western Wood Preservatives Institute, AWPA. It's a free download, and you can put it on your desktop, on your phone, and it's available through Windows devices. This is a great tool and a great item to have on your phone or on your desktop for specifications, UC categories, etc. So here's a use category infographic, and this basically summarizes what the use categories are for UC2, UC3, and UC4, which again are the general applications. So if you were to look at this, you'd see fascia and trim, above ground protected. This use category is 3A or higher. If you were looking at structural posts, and that would be deck posts, so it's not supporting the building itself, but just the deck, that would be a ground contact UC category 5A or higher. And you can see the designation below, also lists UC 4A and B for heavy duty, and that heavy duty would be something that's supporting a structure in general. So the use category reference documents are available again through Western Woods Preservatives Institute, WWPI. This is a reference on codes, use categories. The infographic also includes fasteners and handling. This category is available through preservewood.org or wwpinstitute.org. It's a great website to look at, and also a great category for downloading product information and submittals. So let's talk a little bit about best management practices and what they are. Best managed practices, or BMPs, are recommended guidelines for the production and installation of preserved wood products that are destined to be used and aquatic and wetland environments. The guidelines were developed through a consensus process and are based on the core philosophy of chemical minimization. Both environmental and economic concerns support the goal of placing the proper amount of preservative into a product that provides the needed level of protection while also minimizing the use of preservatives above the required standard minimum. Basically, what we're saying is we want to produce a product that meets the demand, that's going to work for the demand with as little preservatives we can get in there to meet those requirements. Best management practices. This would be the BMP quality control logo that you can see there. This is a logo that's put on there when these preservatives and systems of treated wood are approved in or above aquatic and wetland environments. All preservative systems must be approved through a registration process through the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Preserved wood products that have been produced in compliance with the BMPs can be marked with this logo, which is registered through AWPA. Allweather Wood is authorized to use the BMP quality control mark. Best Management Practices Guide. This is a 16-page manual that you can download through AWPA or Preserved Wood. And this is a great tool for anybody that works around docks or wetlands and that product zone, which is compliant preserved wood products that are produced and installed in a manner which minimizes the adverse impacts to aquatic environments. It's a great reference guide. So we have some common questions, some answers to common questions that come up periodically. So what is the AWPA and what purpose does it serve? So the AWPA, the American Wood Protection Association, is the governing agency that oversees the production of preservative treated wood products and their end uses. The AWPA produces a book of standards for the treating industry annually with new amendments, deletions, and new preservatives when applicable. The AWPA works in conjunction with various building code agencies. They write the standards to assure preservative treated wood products are properly produced, specified, and meet the building codes for the U.S. for both residential and commercial applications. In 1999, the use category system was created, which was the standard used today for all preservative treated wood, including fire retardants, formerly in the C standards. So how do I know if I'm getting the right treated product for the right job? First is always check with your local preservative treated wood supplier or lumber dealer and explain to them the project and the application that you're trying to get for your project. They can recommend the proper products for that application. Second would be to visit www.preservewood.org and review what preservatives and retentions will work for the project that you are building. And then third would be to review the AWPA use category system, which provides an overview of retentions that will work for various applications from above ground to saltwater immersion, or you can visit awpa.com standards UCS. Thank you, and this concludes our Allweather Wood presentation, preservative treated wood, use categories, and best management practices.